This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
Shire.efoodsglobal.com. I'm standing here with Ian Freeman from Keene, and wanted to get an update from you on all the civil disobedience you've done over the last year is going to come home to roost this year as the sentences start to come to you. And I've gotten confused. You've been arrested so many times for standing in front of so many police cars or whatever, that I just don't even know what you're facing. What's 2011 going to be like for you?
Well, right now there's 5 Class A misdemeanors that I'm looking at from 2 separate incidents. There was the standing in front of the police car when Heike was arrested for enjoying a beer in the park. I couldn't allow that to happen, so I had made up my mind in advance after being inspired by David Cruz last year at the Big 420 event in Nashua. I knew that was something that I wanted to emulate, and when the time was right, and I felt like that was the time, with a young lady being kidnapped from the park for enjoying a beverage.
To enforce the contract, people have a right to fucking live their lives.
So I stood in front of the police car with some other great folks like Meg and Wes, and Rich Paul was there too. Was arrested for that and charged with their favorite disorderly conduct, obstructing government administration, and let's see, what was the other one? Resisting arrest as well. So, so there's that incident. That has yet to go to trial. I have opted in for a jury trial on those because they're Class A misdemeanors.
If you do not dispose of the containers, you will be asked to leave.
And then there was the drinking game incident from August of last year when I was arrested for enjoying a beverage quietly in a city council meeting in which the city councilors themselves have beverages. So, there are 2 charges there, disorderly conduct, and I don't even remember I'm facing so many charges. I don't
See how hard it is for me to keep track of.
Yeah. Some other nonsense.
And so you've got a series of court dates in the first half of 2011. Would that be safe to say?
Right now, actually, there are no dates. What has happened is in November, late November, is when I put in what they call the 2.14 rule. This is District Court Rule 214, which is, according to the man in the robe's discretion, he can allow you to skip District Court and jump over to Superior Court for a jury trial if you have a Class A misdemeanor. And so that's what I did, and it was approved.
You requested it, and Burke went along with it.
That's correct.
Good for him.
Yeah, so that was approved. So all my charges are out of district court, and the paperwork has allegedly been sent over to Superior Court. They have my address, and I just haven't heard back from them as to an arraignment date.
They'll send it to you when you're out of town and then arrest you for not reading it.
They could. They could do that. But at this point, I don't even have a date for an arraignment on those charges.
Yeah.
I have no idea when that's going to happen. With Jim Johnson, who actually is also going to have a jury trial at that same court, he's going to be the first activist, I think, so far that I know of to actually go to a jury trial. It's either him or David Cruz, but both of them have taken their cases to Superior Court as well. So it took Jim a good solid month to get notice from the Superior Court. After the paperwork went over from district, it took at least a month for him to get the notice of when the arraignment was, which was, again, several weeks after he got the notice. And so he's actually had his arraignment, but they haven't even sent me the notice yet.
Are you interested in talking to the judge about you pleading to a violation?
No.
Okay. No.
No. If you guys want to go ahead with it, we'll waste as much money as we can on it.
So of the 5...
It's been over 2 months.
Of the 5 misdemeanor charges, how many of them do you think you will get a jury trial on?
All 5.
So it's 5 separate jury trials?
No, I believe... Well, I don't know how they do it. I don't have much experience going to jury trials in New Hampshire. There just haven't been any, really, so far. So I'm not really sure how it's going to play out. I would imagine maybe it'll be 3 charges. The three charges that I was hit for when I stood in front of the police car in that one instance.
At least
maybe
you were hit with
trial.
charges and not the police car.
This is, well, technically.
Well, I guess he did kind of hit you.
I'm not sure. It would be hard for me to make a stand on that one. But I would imagine they'd try all 3 of those at once. Yeah. That's the same incident. And then the other 2 for the drinking game.
Right. Anyway, I interrupted you. What were you saying earlier?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't either. But what are you expecting in terms of the amount of time that you're likely to face
That I have some idea, because when you do the 2.14 rule, they have a hearing, a sentencing hearing. So essentially they treat it like they find you guilty at district court in order to move you to what they call a de novo trial at superior court. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean anything, because it's all starting over from scratch at district court, superior court, but this is just something they go through. So the man in the robe asks the prosecutor for what the recommended sentence is, and then he hands down a verdict at that point. So I know they're looking to get probably about 60 days in jail with hundreds of days suspended, hundreds upon hundreds of days suspended.
60 days for all 5 misdemeanors?
It was 60 days. I don't remember which charge it was. It was one of the charges.
One charge alone was 60 days.
Well, no, that was 360 days with 300 suspended on one of the charges. I believe obstructing, but I don't recall.
So you could have 60 days on each of the 5?
Well, what they were asking for is 60 days plus 300 suspended on one charge, and then like 180 days suspended on another charge, and then like 180 days suspended on another charge. I think they might have said concurrent suspensions, so it might be like, 2 or 3 years of suspended sentence, and then 60 days in jail.
Totally.
And that's if they get what they want from this judge and from this jury, because this is going to be a jury trial.
Okay. Well, Ian, like I've been saying to a lot of folks lately, thank you for your non-governmental service.
Thank you for being here.
All right. Delicious, inexpensive, storable with a 15-year shelf life in most cases. What is it? It is shire.efoodsglobal.com. Try a bite or order with all your might, straight from the site. You can even get free samples there. Or let Kurt and Auburn hand you some. shire.efoodsglobal.com.